Hello, everybody. Let's I'm gonna work down here for a few minutes before kids wake up and show you some stuff I did yesterday. I sanded down the tires to make them look more like they've been on the asphalt. Um, Really easy to do on these rubber tires that come with like Fujimi, Aoshima, Tamiya. I'm not so much with the Revell tires. These are Hasegawa tires. They had a big seam in them anyway. So what I do is I just take my barrel sander, if you guys can see that, and then I run them around the barrel sander. Makes them look like they're sticky or soft compound, and that they've been on the road. Um, Worked a little bit. I couldn't sleep much last night, so I worked a little bit on detailing the body. Did some of this up here. Started the tail light, the headlights. Um, got a few things to figure out there. I did the black canards right there. Um, Worked on the dash. I don't know what happened. One decal. As soon as the Walters decal set hit it, come on. As soon as the Walters decals hit it, um, it wanted to disintegrate. So I painted it green. I'm gonna make it like a navigation unit, tell me if I'm going north and whatnot. But I got the gauges in there. Um, did the top of the dash. I'm going to detail the wheels a little bit. I'm going to show you guys how to detail some of the stuff. In this kit, I noticed last night that in the kit you got to paint the tail lights on, and that's what these decals right here are. Focus. These decals right here is we got to put inside the body right here, and that is supposed to be your tail lights, and this right here is supposed to be a light too, but come on. That right there is supposed to be a light too, but I don't know what that light is for. Um, Basically, here's what it looked like after we put the final matte coat across the top of it. Um, oh, it looks really nice. It got all the door lines back in it to show that, the door jambs and stuff. Um, I went ahead and matted the wheels just so they'll take some color. I'll be right back with that, guys. I'm going to show you guys how to add just a little bit of detail to a plain kit. Yeah, you think it looks cool, Bill? I noticed last night, I don't know how many other people will catch it, but I noticed last night when I was sitting here looking at it, I, for some reason, the distance is fine. The distance, I thought the distance was fine, clear across, and I guess it got angled. So it's just a little off, enough where I seen it. But I really like the way once Pete said do the scaled world decal, man, it laid across perfect right there. And then we added two decals on the side, Bill. I don't know if you had already left to work or not, but we added scaled world right there and scaled world right here. Yeah, yeah, Don. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna lay down a piece of foil. Thanks, Ron. I'm gonna lay down some foil here. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna lay down some foil here and foil there, and then I'm gonna lay down and then I'm gonna lay. I'm going to color. What the hell? I'm gonna color the foil, and then I'm gonna put the decal over the top of the foil, and we'll show you how the tail lights will look. I'm not worried about that, guys. Yeah, Don, I don't know if you joined us yesterday or not. I got up yesterday morning. I put 2 coats of primer on here. Then I went with the royal blue. They have an all blue practice car. This car right here ran in the 1989 24-hour Le Mans, and then it did a lot of Du Mans. Um, and the primer went down fine. When I put the blue on, the blue reacted in such a way that it crazed the plastic, and I mean it made the plastic look like our hands do if we've been in the swimming pool for 3 hours. It crazed the plastic so bad. um, yeah, it's still there to watch back. Yeah. Hello, Mark. Tell Angela I really appreciate the message she left on the video last night. um, So this right here ran in the 24 hours of Le Mans, and they had a blue practice car. Um, I don't know if they really ran in the Hewlett Packard label, but maybe Hasegawa didn't get the rights to the original decals from 1989. Um, but I was showing these guys, Don, how some modelers would get upset. So upset with the way the plastic craze so bad, that they would pitch the kit. And if you're paying $25 for a kit nowadays, don't just throw them away. I showed yeah, I had a lowrider Cadillac only craze around the fender wells. The fender wells for some reason, Tom. But this one here, Don, it crazed everywhere. And I'm trying to show the modelers how to save it by doing a paint job like this. It hides the crazing. Um, this kit right here was kind of designed horribly. All this right here is a glue-in piece on both sides, and it leaves you no room to put filler in here to fix seam lines and stuff. So doing something like this, you get to save your money by not pitching this kit. We get to save it. It's something different. It's easy and it's limitation. And then when you put this, um, yeah. Um, and then I'm just answering reading Tom's comments, guys. And then, this is going to be unique. Yeah, John, that's what I tell them too, John. Sitting in my way. Um, it's going to be unique. You ain't going to have the same build up there. And when you put it on the table, say our friend Mark, which is Spruce Surgeon in here, he shows up with the same kit. Tom Jackson shows up with the same kit, and then Pete shows up with the same kit. We're not looking at each other's kits just to see who built it better, who had added aftermarket detail, or we're not going to nitpick each other builds apart because they're the same. We're going to look at this one and be like, wow, that is different. So my eye appeal is going to be different than the rest of the kits that set on the table. Yes, I know it's damaged underneath all this, but I saved it. I was able to produce something to put on the table, and I'm not out of the money. Yeah. Now see, I have that Mustang rebuild, Tom, that you guys seen yesterday, this Miller Mustang. And I so sat down and thought yesterday. I found the decals online. An aftermarket company makes 2 sets of these decals. I can get the Miller decal, or I can get the Motorcraft decals. Dude, they're $27 just for the decals. They're aftermarket, so hopefully they're good decals. But I was thinking, what if I did this in the Golf colors? I like the baby blue, and I like the orange. This car here had the orange, in the Miller stripes. Well, I guess it was red, but they faded. I do love the Golf colors. Um, yeah. Speaking of colors, Mark over there at Sprue Surgeon, I remember when he was building a Subaru. Was it you, Mark, that was building the Subaru, and you guys had to shop around for the right blue? People don't understand. You go into an automotive paint supplier and tell them I'm looking for a metallic blue. They're going to hand you a book with like 6,000 pages in it, and you're going to have to pick the different blues. A blue that they ran in 95 is going to be different than the blue they ran in 96. It's amazing the transfers and colors just from the years, you know. Or say you wanted a 77 Porsche blue. Well, in 77 they might only had one blue, but they might have updated it in 87. So they give you this book, and when you say, hey, I want a Lamborghini yellow, well, you don't know the yellow they use on the Mira is going to be different than the yellow they use on the Murcielago or the Diablo, you know. And people go in there and said, I want a Viper red. So knowing that they want a red off of a Dodge Viper, they don't realize that other manufacturers made a Viper red. So you're looking at one sheet that has like 11 different reds on it, you know. So when you get into certain things like a paint supplier, you know, and what have you, you guys, you got to pay attention to some of that stuff. You can't just say, hey, well, I painted this Pacific blue, because they don't know if you meant Chrysler Pacific. Ford had a Pacific blue. Nissan has a Pacific blue. Saturn, if you guys remember the brand Saturn, they had a Pacific blue. There's just all kinds of different. Yeah, so many different colors. All right, guys, I'm going to step out just for 1 second. All right, so we seen the dash. I just went outside to get the wheels, that's all. 8 o'clock in the morning here, 9 o'clock in the morning here, and it's already 90 degrees. Whew. It's going to be hell. But just remember, when it's December and we're like, it's 9 o'clock and it's only 10 degrees above zero. uh, so let's take this apart. I never even seen, guess I never looked at the detail on that. You can see the blow off valve for the turbos right there a little bit, not too much. No. Now, Don, what you just mentioned there has changed over the years. Now they have what they're making called factory packs. And one thing you guys don't understand, if you go to buy a custom color and you walk into a paint place and you get a 2-ounce bottle of touch-up paint, today you go in there and you buy a touch-up bottle of, say, a red. They made everything fresh today. There's been no adjutants to it, you know, no air got into it. It ain't been opened up or nothing. You take it home, you shake it up, you spray it, and then you come back a week later because you forgot to paint the wing. You know, you're not necessarily, because the way the pigments have dissolved, once it's been setting in here, you might not always get the same red, even out of the same can. It's just one of those things that is funny about paint. Alright, what was I going to say? Here's what I'm going to show you guys to do. In this kit, it didn't have the headlights. It just has this bucket. Let's see. It just has this bucket. There's no headlights for it. And like I said, we have to paint the tail lights in. So the easiest part will be to do the tail lights first. So I'm going to get out can't reach it. Can't use it. Right. So I'm going to get out a piece of foil. And size my foil up. Because I already know I'm laying that decal down. I got my foil out. Because I already know I'm doing a decal. I don't have to be so precise through there. Do that. Come in here and cut. Okay, so we put one in there. We'll do the other one. And I love using these embossing tools. Has that little bitty round bowl on it. It helps me get in all the round curves and what have you. Alright, then we get this little bitty thing up here. And the instructions are calling it a light too, but I don't know why it would have a light way up there. Mark, I got ADD, bud. I just can't stop thinking about this. We can be at the grocery store, or I can be following something that one of you guys are building online, and I just get ideas. Things just pop in there, and once I get the notion to build something, Mark, I gotta do it. Even if I don't take it to completion, I gotta do it. And if not, I'll sit there and worry and think about it. I won't be able to concentrate on something else. That's why when I was talking about me and Tom yesterday and George Ramos, we get 1,000 projects going because we can't resist it. All right, guys. Now you see right here, I got all the foil in. Focus. We got the foil in place. So now, what I like to do is I take a red Sharpie. Thought I had a red Sharpie. I know I have a red Sharpie. I just gotta find my red Sharpie. think the kids raided my drawer. And then I'm just going to take my red Sharpie, and what I do is I go over the foil like this, and it's going to give me a red looking lens. And I do this with my clear parts too, guys. And even on your clear parts, it gives you a lens, a red looking lens type thing. So we'll do that, and then let's add the decals. Where'd my decal sheet go? Decal sheet. And I got to do these decals a bit different because they actually fit into a place. So we're going to have to trim all the way around these. Yeah, Gerald, look up here on my tool chest. You see all that 10, 15, 20, 25? It's different widths of plastic. What I like to do is, see how thin this is? And I have different sizes, and I start adding it into the gap to fill in the gap. My suggestion would be, if you opened up the hood, I would fill the gap in on the fender and keep your clearance on the hood, because you're going to need room that opens and closes, because once you add paint and primer to it, you know, it's going to be so close it won't either shut all the way, or when you open it, it's going to chip paint on the two jambs. So you got to leave a little bit of room on anything that opens. So I would start thin, and remember, always have a gap, so that way you have something to open and close. Case in point, on Pete's Challenger we're building. See how I cut everything open, but see how there's, oh, sorry, Pete. See how there's a gap there? That's because you need the room for when it opens and closes. You don't want the paint chipping around here or any of that. So you need a gap. So fill it in where you need to, you know, to make sure your gaps are even. Cause see, your trunk, come on, focus. Your trunk is going to move. Having a hell of a picture day. So you don't need to fill the gap up all the way, because by the time you add your paint, your primer, your clear, I use two different types of fillers. I use one called Everglaze, Evercoat Metal Glaze. I don't have it handy. Oh, yep, here it is. There it was. I like to use this Evercoat Metal Glaze. And then for small fixes, I've been using this like a spot putty thing, a Kimba spot putty. It's by Pronto. And I got my 2 tail light pieces in the water. Let's get back down here. Alright, now while my decals are setting up, let's get them out real quick. I'm going to show you guys how to make front headlights. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't you do it. Oh my God. Decal down. Alright, well. We have situation, boss. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Found out the hard way, this ain't a full decal. So it wanted to roll on me for a minute, guys. Let me adjust this real quick. But come on, you piece of turd. Decal went to shit on me, guys. We won't be using those decals. Well, that sucked. Now I had one dash gauge disintegrate, and now this right here, this one here just disintegrated on me too, so we won't be using those. So let's show you how to fix those. Alright, let me get my flat black out. Okay, so we know it's a round design by the decal. Okay. So we just lost that decal, guys, so let's What brush am I going to use this morning? I'm going to use the number 10. I'm going to go around here, flat like that. Alright, so we did that now. It's not perfect, but it's not just completely red now. Right there's. Let me wash this out. Do a little bit of cleanup. One thing working with this Vallejo acrylic paint, I can come back here in a little bit and I can fix those holes. I can make them rounder here in a few minutes. Preston, it's when you start talking about brushes and a good brush versus an affordable brush and what have you, that's a whole different, that can amount to a bunch of different things, buddy. I wouldn't go buy no Broken Toe or something like that unless you're really into super fine detail, like if you're a figure painter or something. But I get, where are you at, Preston? I forgot where you live at, sir. I know you told me before, but I forget. You got a Hobby Lobby in Flint? Go to Hobby Lobby. They have over in the model car section where your supplies and stuff are. They have this set for $3.99, and it has a bunch of different sizes in it. I love working with these. Yeah, and do like what Pete did. Go to Wish or Amazon, or like I said, that right there, that little thing from Hobby Lobby was $4. You know, so it all depends upon what you want. eBay, you can get nail brushes that they're using to, do fingernail painting with and stuff. Usually you can get those fairly cheap. And it all depends upon what kind of paint you're using too. Like right now I'm using acrylic. And sometimes if you use something stronger, like these right here are singles. Oh, you can hear my son hollering at me. I got the basement door locked. I won't let him down here because I'm on a video. He's getting mad. I got 1,000 sets of Legos down here. I let them down here to play Legos. They all want to fight over the same piece. Alright, what color should the nut be on these Uninut wheels? I don't know if I should do them silver or another color. Right now I'm just painting the inner style of the nut. One thing right there on what Don said, one thing I've noticed in my area, if it has the word specialty in the title somewhere, you're going to be paying too much because they've put that title on there. That's like going to eBay looking for something, and then when you find what you need, somebody put the title on there, Pro Built, and next thing you know, it's 3 times higher than what it should be for the some of the quality that you get because of the word. So be careful when you're out there going to buy something. Oh, they're good kids though, Pete. They're Mom and Dad's killing us. I don't know what I just did, but I think I messed up the wheel. I think I'm gonna go with old gold. Oh, I'm gonna go with bronze, Pete. I think I'm gonna go with bronze. Let's see what. I went to paint the SRS, the SSR, on this wheel, and it freaked all up. Pete, I can't look right offhand. Does those aftermarket wheels we have, do they have SSR decals in them? Just working on some wheel detail right now. Got quiet. I'm sorry, guys. Concentrating on detailing the wheels. I went ahead and went with the bronze. Most, I think, would use the gold, I believe. Too much water on my brush. Been really happy, guys, since I switched from the Testors enamel stuff to Vallejo. I know there's a few other guys that use um, some of the Revell paints and Alclads and stuff like that. But ever since Anthony from War Dog, he sent me some samples. I really enjoyed it. I hadn't seen Anthony on in a while. I knew his dad was taken ill, so he's been working with him, but I need to check up on him, see how he's been. You know, the last time I talked to my mom and dad, mom got she runs a nursing homes. She got started talking about retiring. Yeah, I didn't think my parents were that old. The way I look at it now, I get my Social Security paperwork every year when it comes around time for taxes because I pay into a 401k pretty heavy and whatnot. So you get all the paperwork for, your taxes, and damn paperwork says I have to be 77 to draw 100% unless I go disabled. I'm like, what the 77? I won't be working at 77. I want to be traveling. I want to be at the model bench. I want to call my sons over, have them cutting the grass, and I'll be on the porch watching them with the lemonade. $77. That means I still have to work another 34 years. I remember when people were retiring after they've worked 30 years someplace, some of those guys, the way their packages were set up, retirement things and what have you. My grandpa's already gone, but I never knew him to work. He had already retired by the time I was able to remember, because whenever somebody would get sick at school or get in trouble at school and have to be sent home, Grandpa was always the first one to whip our tails for getting in trouble at school. Grandpa didn't play. When the teachers threaten the kids, like, you want me to call your dad? I'd be like, yeah, go ahead, call my dad. Don't call Grandpa. I'd rather you call my dad. Grandpa didn't play. Miss my grandparents. I really wish my kids didn't know my grandpa and my grandmas. My mom's mom, her husband was a lumper coach or a lumper, whatever you call them, and I'd get to go to work with him in the summertime, throwing watermelons. And man, that was a job for a young 10, 12-year-old kid back then. Um, just going back, guys, cleaning up some of the wheels. Look, I'm going with for the wheels. Now it has a BBS emblem on the wheel. I tried to paint it red and it didn't go out so good, Pete. So let's see if we can't chrome it. Oops. Put my new brush in there. Damn it. These are getting hard to paint, Pete. You know what? I'm going to try to clean them up with a toothbrush in a minute. Okay, they're sloppy right now, but we're going to try to get those cleaned up here in a few minutes. Okay, what's the last thing I want to do? Where's my Molotov chrome? I'm going to show you guys how to work on the headlights, and I lost track of what I was doing. Started working on these wheels. We're working on a Nissan 89 CR. It's a Le Mans, a 24 hours of Le Mans car. One of the Facebook pages I joined are having a group build from July to the end of August. I don't do many race cars, but a good friend of mine and fellow YouTuber sent me this kit, so he wanted me to join in and build. John from Gap Hill Speed Shop, if you guys ain't subscribed to Gap Hill Speed Shop, you can see his work over there on his Facebook page, over on my Mr. Mini Greens page, and also over on ScaledWorld.net. He's been building his tail off here lately. He's been building some great pieces. Not just fast pieces, but some great pieces. I got a package. Pete, a matter of fact, bud, I keep dealing with the kids and forgot to message you. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Man, there's some more rivets than I thought. So many rivets on one wheel, I thought I was messing with the frog. Then I'll try to clean up that red here in a little bit. I'm going to let it dry. And then I'll get in there with the toothpick and try to clean that up. What I'm doing right now is there's a ring around the bolt and then all these little nuts. And then what I do, I got that Molotov refill. Instead of using the pin on this, I'll brush it on. I have a little bit better control. I can get in there better. Especially when it comes to all these rivets. Yeah, I see you guys talking back and forth and subbing each other. That's what our hobby should be about, the support. We ain't always going to get along with each other. We ain't always going to like what each other's building. We all got our own aspects of the hobby. We all have our own different skill sets and hobby interests. So It's better to have a brotherhood than an attitude. So sometimes I could be having a bad day and approach somebody the wrong way, and vice versa, you know. I know me and John Paul both work evenings. Pete works 2 jobs. Um, George Ramos, Vision 124, he's a firefighter, so sometimes he's 24 on, 24 off or whatnot. So sometimes we might be getting on here to de-stress, and we've had a long night, or something's ticked us off the wrong way, and we just might have a bad moment. I try not to get online when I'm frustrated. I want to keep a better composure of myself, but sometimes, um, people, they get irritated and angry. I know there's situations in the hobby that's very frustrating. Me and Don Chamberlain have sat down before and had a few talks. When Don get a little upset, instead of reacting, he's chosen to contact me, and we'll sit down and I'll listen to him while he, shares his concerns of stuff that is in the hobby that he feels um, ain't right or selective. Um, like there was a lot of stuff going on when um, Chevy Cheeseburger was trying to do the all out stuff, and there were some things that wasn't right, but instead of getting upset and getting online and making a video, which the guy that made the video I'm friends with, I talk to him often when he's online. Right now it's his busy season for what he does for a living, so he ain't been online for a while, but I didn't react. He had enough of what he felt was wrong and made a video of it. And instead of making a video, um, there's modelers that choose to approach me, and we'll sit down and we discuss it. Because if you don't let it out, guys, it's just going to boil up and then blow up to something that, some of us might regret in the long run, because we were impatient, we had a bad day, and we took it out the wrong way. Um, but like I kept mentioning to you guys, share your work. I want to see your work. I want to see what you're doing. And he made the comment that he didn't want to share his work for the fear of the non-acceptance, and I agreed with him. Um, I'm a strong man, but one thing I battle with that's hurtful to me is rejection. For some reason, um, I don't want to be rejected. You know, when these clowns get on my YouTube channel and leave a comment, I try to be either informational or sarcastic. I try to be. I I was told don't entertain the idiot, but sometimes I can't help it. I want to get a good laugh. I want to chill and have some fun. And if you proceed to come to me talking stuff, well, I'm gonna have some fun with you. But I try to do it clean. You know what I mean? I try not to bash. There's a difference in helping somebody with their work and bashing somebody's hobby. And I think some pages don't understand that. Um, some builders don't understand that. And then you meet those guys that ask for help. You try to help them, and then they get mad at you because you pointed something out, and then, their response is, who made you the king of all model builders? And, so it goes both ways. I mean, if you're willing to grow and learn and listen, you can help them. But if they're not willing to grow and listen, I mean, you're wasting your breath. They're looking for fight. They're looking for the battle, I guess. Okay, what do you guys think about these? I kind of cleaned up the red. These are the backs. Let's put tires on. See what the tires look like. Now there you go. Painted the valve stem, all the nuts. Got the beauty ring in there. See, these wheels were just too cool. Like I said, the kit came all solid on the rear end, but then I cut the rear end open. Yeah, and I'll see if I was a judge and I go to the show, right? And I'm allowed to judge a class. If 6 of us show up with the same car, all right, and we all built the same car out of the box, same decals, sometimes I've seen judges go, well, this guy's already going to win in such and such class, so let's give this to this guy. And I had asked one time, why not give it to the best built? And the comment was, well, we don't want to discourage these guys from not coming to our show. But it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to look at my build, tell me what I've done right, what I've done wrong, what's good, what's bad, judge me, and then go on to the next build. Don't worry about if I've already placed in, look at that. Don't worry if I've already placed in, a class or whatnot. And then if we all show up at the same car and the same build, don't look at, well, Dave Irwin, Mr. Mini Dreams, he went with an aftermarket photo etch, and Pete went with aftermarket decals, aftermarket photo etch, and then George Ramos has resin intakes of resin seat, aftermarket seat belts, photo etch, aftermarket engine. Don't look at what the guy spent. Look at the quality of the build. I've seen a lot of quality get beat by lots of cash. People think because this guy spent a $90 on a Hobby Design upgrade set, that he's automatically got a better build, and I've seen it. I've been to many a contest, and I hate to tell you guys, but I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand when we deal with some stuff like that. I'm going to glue these wheels into place real quick. Where's my super glue? Here, super glue, super glue, super glue. I found it, guys. I found it. Okay, so we get these in place. Oop, might be a little too much super glue. Like a lot of the builds that I send up north to Pete and George to go show. George has taken some of my builds to Atlanta. They've been to the NNL East. They've been to some of the New Jersey shows. And I ask George and I ask Pete every time, how was my build received? I don't ask, did it win? Did it place? Did I beat anybody? I just ask, how well was it received? Because to me, trophies are cool and all. And I've said it before, but my trophies come down here and they sit in my room. They don't go nowhere. It's my build that I want appreciated for. I don't want appreciated because, oh, this is the one that won the NNL East in 2015 or what have you. I have show winners. I've been a show winner. Best Ford, best paint, best lowriders. I've had best tuners. I mean, I've had my share of best ofs. But it's not about that for me. I want my builds to be perceived. I want the excitement of people saying, oh, here's Minnie's build. I remember this online or what have you, because I want you guys to see my build. The trophies, they just sit here. You know what I mean? They're not important. They're fun to win. It's exciting to win, to know my build was that good. All right, get those wheels in place. I want to put some activator on them. Now don't forget, guys, all the products you see here on my bench, you guys can get. There's nothing I'm using is rare. I'm not saying it's affordable. Just it ain't rare. And like I try to tell some other people, case in point, Pete, owner operator, scaledworld.net. He has a great place for all of us to send our pictures. He will pick himself his own. He'll pick apart himself and his own builds, and has no problem letting you guys share whatever you want. He's not saying, well, I'm not going to do this because it's a better build than me, or he's a better builder than me. He wants to showcase all your guys' work. And that's the kind of movement that Pete and I are enjoying with Scaled World. What do you think, Pete? That's what the wheels detailed, guys. Kind of like to get it set down a little bit more. We'll see what's going on there. Yeah, never be ashamed of what you guys do. It's your hobby, it's your outlet, it's your release. I didn't wake up one day and say, hey, look, I'm going to be the best guy in the hobby industry. I'm going to be the best guy on YouTube. I'm going to have, I'm going to be so good that I have 2,000 followers. I just do what I just do what I enjoy, guys. Don't compare myself to none of you, because I'm just at a different level than you guys. I'm not better than you guys. There's nothing on my table that you guys can't do on yours. Kind of want to lower this. I'm just manipulating some plastic, guys. I said it one time too. When I was about 15, I got a job. I was walking into the local hobby store, and the guy said, "You're in here all the time. You ought to just work here." And I'm like, "Well, if you guys would hire me," he goes, "Well, we can work you after school." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I love to work at the hobby store." And I got a job at Jay's Hobby Heaven. It was at our local mall, and and I'd see these guys come in here, and they would stare and look at the rack of models, and I'm like, "Can I help you guys find something?" And one of the guys replied, says, yeah, I'm just looking for something new to build. I already built all these. And I'm thinking in my head, well, you can build the same kit 100 times and not end up with the same kit. And I guess, other people don't look at it like that. But for me, it was different. I've never, I never approached my racks like that. When I go to build a model, I'm building it because of the interest I have for it. I wasn't never in it for I already built this or I didn't build this yet. Hell, it's already been an hour. I didn't get much done today, guys. Sorry about that. Like I said, I still got to glue the body down and whatnot, but... Oh, shit. There it goes. And see, now, with using the Vallejo paints, I can go in there now with the toothpick, and I can make my holes bigger. Or you can keep it chrome like that and make it look like it had a chrome ring around it. Matter of fact, let me try that. Let me see what that looks like. One thing I was always taught is if you're angry with someone, you have something to say to them or about them, say it to them, because if you let someone else relate your message, by the time it gets to them, it's not even the same thing you were upset about. It's something totally different. You know how the saying goes, misery loves company. So if somebody else ain't feeling the same way you do, and they hear you said something, they'll try to influence something else. So we adjusted the tail lights there, guys. Alright. Well, I better get off here and get the day started. We'll come back to this later, guys. I got some chores to do. I'm going to take the kids to the store. But it's not wanting to stay in there. There it goes. Got these little clips. Got to get in there to make it fit and stick right. So I said this right here wasn't a very good kit, but I keep working at it and keep enjoying it, so it's not all a loss. Like I said, John sent it to me, told me to build it, so I told him I would build it. If you guys ain't never had a Micron pen, get you a 40% coupon for Hobby Lobby and go pick you one up. It works great for detailing little stuff like this, and the door lines and stuff. They have them in all different sizes, but it's great. It helps me make things look like they got a rubber seal around them and what have you. And as soon as I get the interior in there, all the windows glue from the outside, so as soon as I get the interior in there, get one more look of it. See what this pin here is, the 0005. My real name is David. I'm only 12 years old. No, I'm lying. Oh, man. Wait till you hear the rumor started now. He's telling everybody he's just a little kid. No, I've been doing this for a long time, guys. It's like I told you yesterday in one of our other chats. It's just always been a passion of mine. And, you know, I wish it could be something I made money at and actually made a living off of. But then I think I would lose the satisfaction of de-stressing down here. They always say do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life, but that only works on some things. At where I work, you know, these guys are getting together. They're doing basketball tournaments, fishing tournaments, golfing tournaments. And they're like, why don't you ever take place in anything? I said, well, you have a model car contest, I'll be there. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and glue this into place. I'm done with the wing anyway. I'm tired of it falling off all everywhere. They do this thing every year called Relay for Life, and always thought that would be fun to do. And basically, it's like the Special Needs Olympics, or whatever you call it, Special Olympics. Just because some of the kids try so hard. Pete, that scaled world shows up perfect underneath there. Like if you were racing. Alright. And then, like I said, I'll glue that in just to get it set there. And then we got the stance. So what we need to do now is we'll need to get the interior together so that way we can glue this to the chassis. It's not wanting to stay. Glue that in so we can get it to the chassis. So we got to get the interior done. Oh, the wheel came off. Get in there, you dum-dum. There it is. Nope. Looks like it needs some more glue. So you guys enjoy your weekend. Have a great Friday. I think I'm done. I hope this show was worth your time today. But I don't stuck. I just jump on when I can in between the kids and work and honeydews and stuff like that. You know, I'm surprised I'm this far into this, honestly. With all the other sidetracking that I've been done on my C1 Sunny stuff for Scaled World and the challengers we started for Scaled World. John sent me this and it's just been falling into place. Yeah, Tom. Thank you guys for joining. I don't know how much more progress I'll put on it, but I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. For Mr. Mini Dreams, Scaled World Weekly, don't forget to join in and check out scaledworld.net. Don't forget to check out the Model Hut. Brian Busser has been putting up a lot of great looking kits and stuff for sale this week. Don't forget, if you got a podcast or something like that, check out Scale Riders, Hyro Boy for some of your modeling needs. Don't ever forget my boy George, Division 124. The Diversified Scalers have a show coming up. Big shout out to John at Gap Hill Speed Shop for sending me this kit. And as always, check out scaledworld.net. You can send your own builds in here, feature at scaledworld.net. Make sure you have good, clean pictures so Pete can produce a good quality looking photo on the website. And check out him on Instagram as well. This is Minnie. Had a great week. a couple shows this week. We've been building our tail off on this little Nissan. Appreciate you guys' support and checking it out while I'm working on it. We'll keep you updated, and hopefully this right here gets done soon. Now, looking through my stash, I think I only built one other thing this year. I started working on the figures at the end of last year, and you know, it took a lot of my interest. But you guys have a great day. I'm gonna make sure everything's cleaned up here, and I'm out.